Well, he's actually not switching to Protoss. Let's continue to talk about those games, Mark.
All right. So he says, well, you know, he doesn't, you know, because he knows it's going to be coming. But the whole point is you know, to train here. So hopefully we will actually end up seeing it again. HasuObs is going to have a lot to take away from this one. And again, coming up immediately after this, we're going to have the post-lesson analysis where Sean is going to sit down and talk with the player, find out what he thought about the games, where he feels like he might be able to refine those builds. And then, of course, we'll move on to the mono battles for Fun Day Money. But here we are. We are going into the next game here. And not sure what NaNiwa is going to do, but I'm sure he'll give us a treat here, being first surprise.
Seeing yet another training session go all the way to the 7th game. Or excuse me, the first training session go all the way to the 7th game, where right now Hasu 1-5, and I want to remind everyone that one win was as close as a win can go, where the opponent had 0 workers. It was basically a base race. So really, it looks like NaNiwa is going to be trying to do some sort of ultra proxy cheese in this last game, just to try to get his opponent as prepared as possible. I mean, in a sense, Hasu's trying to get as many different versions of early game cheese and aggression out of the way and try to prepare against that. And right now, when this probe begins to pop up into the main, this is one of the most common cheeses ever. Will Hasu be able to get enough units out in time?
Well, it's pretty nasty. Going to throw it out in the gateway right inside the base of his opponent, and possibly even a second one as he just focuses on getting those zealots out. Now, HasuObs in the past games has actually been really good about checking his base and checking for all those places where this kind of stuff could happen. Let's find out if he's going to do that here today in this game, or if this will go unnoticed. There's the second gateway going down now. This could be pretty nasty, Sean.
This is a really annoying strategy to do. It's very easy to just play 10 games on the ladder against Zerg and Terran, and then you spawn against a Protoss. You just forget to check this backside. This is I honestly think that this is probably the best time for NaNiwa to do this. I actually feel like with maybe 90% certainty, Hasu might not be able to hold off this break.
Right. Yeah,
but that is the sort of thing that you really need, that loss that's so frustrating that when you go to that tournament next week, you're not forgetting it and you're not going to run that risk.
Sure. I mean, as many of the players have said, it's nice to be able to play in a less stressful situation and environment. Now, he's going to have to be chronoing out these Zealots as soon as he realizes Zealot 1 is going to be on its way. And what NaNiwa is going to do is he's going to wait, of course, for additional Zealots, because dealing with the 1 is certainly possible, damaging, but possible. But when there's multiples and then there's several following up, in fact, by the time these 2 hit, a third is going to be coming right out of that gateway, and it's going to be really, really bad. He's going to have to pull his probes or figure out how he is going to deal with this, but now Hasu knows that there's 2 gateways in my base.
Hasu will likely end up even canceling that one. Yep, he does end up going for the cancel. And will he go for the base trade? This is actually a pretty common technique to do in these sorts of situations, to just go for that base trade. It's a really nice little move there by HasuObs. He does need to get a little bit of extra gas if he wants to be able to get an additional stalker up in this circumstance. But right now, if you just go for a base trade, this can be an extremely nice spot where the opponent doesn't really have any way to catch up to your stalker, and it looks like, yep, Hasu's going to be going for that base trade. Has NaNiwa prepared for this at all? He still has 9 probes. And now Hasu has 200 minerals. He would really like 300, so that way he can end up building 4 assimilators all around the map.
And, okay, well, here the stalker is going to do the dance and make these Zealots chase. And he's just going to be able to take a couple of them out. Where are the probes headed off to as well? I mean, he's still going to head on over there. Yep, yeah, this is splitting it up. Yep.
This is increasingly becoming the common way to deal with proxies. I mean, it's hard to deal with a proxy in your base, but even if it's just a little bit ways away, even if it's a proxy, say here, for instance, going for the base trade where you take your stalker and you kite for as long as you possibly can. And right now, yep, looks like NaNiwa did manage to stay alive with a single shot left over, but right now Hasu needs to try to kill off this probe count. Right now it's going to be 18 probes from HasuObs moving into the main base. And Hasu may very well get a win right now, as long as he just keeps kiting. Oh, no, he's distracted. Oh, no. Oh, that would be the worst thing humanly possible to have happen, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't get surrounded by all these probes.
And the probes, they know exactly what they want to do. The Zealot's coming in, too. The Stalker's going to be so important.
And he ends up getting caught. Hasu was inches away from being able to win in that trade situation, and now Kenny managed to pull it off. And, I mean, that's honestly one of the most important base trade lessons to know. You can win a base race just by trading all of everything in your base, running the probes to the other side of the map, and I honestly think that if Hasu didn't slip up that control for just 2 seconds, he would have been in good shape. So a little bit of a disappointing last game. I mean, getting proxy gated, getting 4-gated in those 2 games, but we're seeing that there's some kind of all-over-the-map situations for HasuObs. Granted, he was playing against tip-top best of the best with kind of a new build. You honestly want that kind of warming-up period first, but we're definitely going to get the chance to sit down with him and ask him what he thinks about those practice games.
Yeah, and I really look forward to that interview. I mean, Hasu is probably going to have some really great insight. And, of course, while that can be frustrating, I think you made a phenomenal point, Sean, in that – you know what? It's better to happen now and not in, round 2 of the competition that they're going to be at next week. And, having that accessibility to get hit with something like that and then going, probe around the base like I was doing all day. He slipped back just a little bit and look at the results that happened because of it. He was pretty diligent about it earlier on. So, again, just something that he's going to be reflecting on. Yeah, the build is great, but don't forget he's going to be up against a slew of things next week, including the potential for something like that. You never know what you're going to get at a competition like that.
So what we're going to do is step to a brief break while we bring HasuObs down to the front couch and ask him what he thinks about his new build and the practice session that didn't go too well. And afterwards, it's time for a little bit of Fun Day Monday. I'm Day 9.
And I'm DJ Wheat. Don't go away. Post-game interview with HasuObs, and then Fun Day Monday to close it out. We'll be right back.